What is up, everybody? I am Taylor. Welcome to my channel, or back to my channel, or whatever the hell. Yeah, welcome. And this is going to be my review. Spoilery, because I don't know how to talk about all this crap without spoilers. So, spoilers, thoughts, reviews, musings of Stranger Things Season 4. Or as I like to call it, Dear God, is this over yet? Nah. All right. I promise one thing. This video, it might be long, but it won't be anywhere near as long as Season 4 of this damn show. Because that, holy crap. It was over 13 hours of runtime for 9 episodes. And the last episode was over 2 hours long. That's a goddamn Marvel movie, people. And when I hit play on it, I was like, do I really want to do this? And that's not a good feeling. But we'll get into it. Stranger Things Season 4, I'm assuming you've seen all the 3 seasons before it. I will say this, it's better than Season 3, because that was hot garbage. This is microwave, TV dinner-ish, whatever. Yeah, it's convoluted, it's long, there's way too many cast members in this damn show now. Half of them, turns out, when you get kid actors growing up, they can't really act so much. We'll get into all of that. But yeah, we're going to start with the plot, and I'll try and keep it as sort of simple as possible. There's 3 plot lines going on. First, we get heavy metal sensation Eddie with the hair and the stuff. He's a drug dealer. He plays D&D. He's clearly bad because he does all those things in the 80s. And there's the Satanic Panic and, Tom Hanks starring that movie The Maze and whatever. He's suspected of murder because this certain mysterious thing, who the kids call Vecna because it's a D&D based show and every season has to have a new D&D villain. Vecna starts killing people who have past trauma. I don't know, they kind of don't really make that super clear-ish. I mean, they sort of explained it later, but it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, Vecna kills people. Eddie, suspect, Steve, Dustin, and whatever the hell the rest of them are all called, go to find Eddie and clear his name. That's plot A. Plot B, Finn Wolfhard, a.k.a. Mike, a.k.a. Dear God, I Can't Act Anymore, goes to visit Elle on vacation in California where nobody likes her and she smashes some chick in the nose with a roller skate. I didn't mind that part. That was fun. Elle gets kidnapped by the guy from the Mad About You and whatever. And so Finn Wolfhard and whatever the hell the other Will, who's got a crush on Mike and who has a pizza stoner guy who's whatever, go to rescue Elle. But really, they just go drive her out in a stoner pizza van and go visit Justin's ex-girlfriend to hack something for some reason. That one's a whole lot of go here to do this, because they didn't really know what the hell to do with those characters. And then the third and the most redonkulous of the bunch, Joyce, the mother of the year, just leaves all her kids at that little note saying, I'm out of here. Takes $40,000 out of the bank and gets Eddie, or what's his name? Murray, I can't remember all their names, to go break Jim out of a Russian jail. They meet Yuri. He's a helicopter douchebag who tricks them, and then they prison break, blah. They're really, all that plot, that C plot with Jim was really unnecessary. The whole thing was just they did it because they needed to keep Jim alive, because he was probably the only one in the show that can kind of act, and he's the biggest name, even though he was a really crappy Hellboy, so whatever. Yeah, those are the 3 plots. The whole show is like, go here to do this, to do this. Solve this quest to go to your next thing. I'm sorry, the princess is in another castle. And then they try and weave it together at the end to face Vecna from various points. And, yeah, whatever. Spoilers, I didn't care. Eddie plays guitar on the roof of hell or some shit and plays Metallica, which the internet loved. And, then... I don't even know. It just seemed like it was a 2-hour fight scene for the most part. Max, who was one of the stars of this season, she's a pretty decent actress. The actress plays her. I don't remember any of their names. But Max was one of the people that's destined to die, so they had to play Kate Bush in her ears for hours, which I would have killed myself after that anyways. She's fine. And then at the end, they do have some emotional beats where they goddamn broke Max's arms and legs and they're going to kill her. But then Elle saves her. But she's in a coma, but Elle saved her. mostly because she can act and probably because she has something stupidly convoluted to do next season, which apparently is the last season. Dear sweet God, I hope so. Honestly, it's not that I hated this show. It's just that it's kind of gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse from season one. Season one was kind of innocent, naive, took everybody by surprise. I really dug it. Season two, not as good as season one, but not bad. Season three, oh God, there was that horrible mall scene. And this one's better than season three, but seriously, 13 hours. They could have cut all the Jim Harper plot and then fine. Hopper, whatever the fuck the guy's name is. They could have cut the Eddie bit. I mean, Eddie was a new character introduced, okay? And has this redemptive arc at the end where he's suddenly not a coward and saves the day and dies. He's the one season character. Barely the internet loves him. But here's the thing. There was nothing to him to love. It starts with him dealing weed, and then he gets accused of murder, and then he's on the run, and he's just kind of a dipshit for the rest of the show until the end where he apparently redeems himself. Now, Dustin, it keeps going on the entire time about how great Eddie is. And so are the other characters like Mike and whatever. All these, not Mike, I can't remember. Whoever the hell all played D&D. Will, that's the one. Played D&D, not Will, no, the other guy. Doesn't matter. They all played D&D with Eddie, and so they vouch for his greatness. And because they vouch for him, we're supposed to care that he's great and part of this Hellfire Club that, the townsfolk are all of a sudden think he's going to bring Hellfire and Doom. Apparently, they've all been asleep for the past 3 seasons in the town and think, oh, no, it's all these kids are now doing things, even though this town is clearly fucked up. The Satanic Panic, I get it. It's the trope they're leaning into, and they're leaning very hard. And it's kind of been that setup from season 1 with, if it's going to be D&D, you're going to have the Satanic Panic at some point, and the whole thing where, in the 80s, everybody thought everybody played D&D, Dungeons & Dragons. Sorry, Dungeons & Dragons was the devil. Whatever. It's all right. Some of the cast, like Will, the kid that plays Will, overacting, Noah Schnapp, I think his name is, has a crush on Mike, and Mike doesn't realize it because he's in love with Elle, and Elle and Mike. I mean, there's some teenage romance stuff, fine, but Finn Wolfhard really is just wooden and cannot act, and Noah Schnapp, who plays Will, is just overacting, and then there's just kind of a whole lot of side pieces, the unwieldy cast, various degrees of good and bad, whatever. David Harper, fine, he can act, when he's on screen, he's actually pretty effective, and actually Millie Bobby Brown, pretty decent actor. The guy that plays Eddie, I don't really give a shit. The visuals are not bad. There's some effective terror. When they actually killed the woman at the end of the first episode, I was like, oh, whoa, that's kind of badass. And they put the money into the effects. The effects are good. Spent a lot of time in the Upside Down. Probably way too much time. And Vecna was mostly done with practical makeup, and it looked okay. Looked kind of like Swamp Thing, but more brown, and decent. It's just, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't really add up and make sense if you think about it. Because apparently, Elle created Vecna, because Elle and 11 and Vecna, number 1, were all under creepy Matthew Modine's care and some of the worst child care thing ever, right? And, the kids are all torturing 11, but she's got this custodian who's on her side, who turns out, whoa, spoilers, is the evil Vecna once she takes the implant chip out of his brain. He goes evil and kills everybody, and almost kills 11, but then 11 sends him off to the Never Never Land, or the Underworld, or Underdark, or Underbuddy, or Underboob, whatever it's called. The problem is, it turns out that already exists, right? But then Vecna all of a sudden made it all super evil. There's just, none of it really, and the timelines don't seem to add up, because I swear that it was in the 50s, or it really felt like the 50s, when this horror house that 11, or 1, they go into 1's backstory, and how he's just an evil little shit that likes to kill spiders, or loves spiders and likes to kill people, whatever, and likes all that, just is a bad little kid. So they sent him off to Dr. Matthew Modine, who's, white-haired and evil, and who performs experiments on everybody and makes them more evil and hate each other and plays Lord of the Flies games with them. They all try and kill each other and call them Papa. Fucking creepy. It's just, the fact that their underworld, Upside Down, that's it. The Upside Down already exists, kind of, and Elle just sends him there, but then all of a sudden he's Vecna. once she gets there, like she has these powers that can turn him into that, sorta, and maybe, kinda. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. I mean, maybe if I rewatched it all, it'd make more sense. But dear God, I'm not going to do that because it was way too long. And like I said, I dreaded watching the last episode because by then I was like, oh, this is going to be a slog, and it kind of was. I mean, by then the internet had sort of spoiled things for me. I knew that Eddie was going to play Master of Puppets, and that Metallica fans are either going to really get a raging boner about it or get mad about it because they are old Metallica fans and didn't like new people hearing Metallica back when Metallica was actually kind of cool. But whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I hope season 5 is shorter. I hope it wraps this crap up. I hope it's somewhat effective and somewhat done. But yeah. Yeah, words are failing me. I don't know. It's all right. I mean, I'm not hating that. I probably will finish it, but it just sort of feels. What show can I compare it to? Probably Lost. You know how if you ever watched Lost, the season 1 is fantastic, and it just kind of just slips, and it feels like they don't know what the hell they're doing, and like they're gonna try and wrap it up in an ending that's not gonna make a lot of sense. That's what it kind of feels like here. It sort of feels like they wrote themselves into a lot of corners and they're trying to write themselves out and trying to make things that happened in previous seasons line up and make sense in this season for no real good reason other than L11 can make nosebleeds and psychic powers. So I don't think they had a grand plan for all of this. And I think that they're paying for it now. I think they probably should have at least had a series-long outline first. If they did, whoever is writing it is just kind of going off the rails and doing their own thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's the rescue hopper thing really almost did it for me. That it was so stupid, and you get what's his nuts, the Murray character who went from being the conspiracy theory nut to now suddenly a kung fu expert that speaks fluent Russian, and there's a lot of sighing this season for me, and yeah, I'm glad they're killing some people. I'm glad they're getting rid of some, but they're going to expand. They're going to expand the cast of characters more for next season, and like they're going to have more ridiculous shit for them to do, and it's just going to be like kind of obvious that they don't know what to do with these people anymore, so they have to send them off on little side ventures and get stoned for about 5 episodes until they can have them all come back and fight whatever's evil. The D&D whatever. All right, that's enough. I'm done. I don't know. Let me know if you watched it. Yeah, your mileage may vary on this. You might like it a lot better than I did. I hope so. And I really am not trying to be cranky about this shit. I'm really trying to watch things I like and talk about things I like. For something like that, go watch my review of Ms. Marvel. I really enjoyed it. If I remember, I'm going to leave a link, I don't know, one of these corners. So Taylor, that's me. If I notice myself doing this when I'm editing, go put a link up somewhere. I probably won't, but whatever. All right, I'm going to get off of here. Don't be a dick, even if you're wanted for murder and have 1980s hair and tight jeans and think the favorite band in the world is probably Warrant and the best album is Cherry Pie. She's my cherry pie, na cherry pie. All right, don't be a dick, even if you're stuck in the 80s. See ya.